Ba Xian are the 8 Immortals in Taoism, representing harmony, balance, and the rejection of corruption. They aren't gods. They're regular men and women who attained immortality by following the principles of Taoism. They teach us that even ordinary people can, in one way or another, transcend the mortal world. As the first of the 8 Immortals, Li Tieguai's tale is a mix of tragedy, transformation, and compassion. Let's unravel the story of how he became immortal, the challenges he faced, and his enduring legacy in Taoist tradition. Li Tieguai was originally a tall, handsome, and charismatic young man named Li Xuan. He was very proud of his good looks and vitality, basically came from him meditating all the time. Now, according to legend, he was a devout disciple of Laozi, the founding father of Taoism. All right, so he directly received the teachings from Laozi. Laozi taught him the secrets of nature and the principles of harmony and balance, which set him on the path to immortality. For 40 years, Li Xuan lived a life of austerity and devotion, meditating in caves and resisting earthly temptations. Laozi tested Li's resolve multiple times. So first, what he did was he created a wooden statue, and then he transformed it into a beautiful woman to try and seduce Li Tieguai. When Li ignored her, Laozi rewarded him with a magical pill that eliminated hunger and illness. So basically he could meditate for a long time, right? He could keep going with his practice. He wouldn't get sick. He wouldn't get hungry. All was good. Now, later, Laozi tested him with wealth. So what he did was he sent some robbers to go and bury some treasure in his field, basically in his backyard, put a big X on the ground, and then, Li rejected. He said, "No, I do not want these riches." And Laozi then rewarded him with a second pill, granting him, that is right, the ability to fly, right? So if not being hungry and not getting sick wasn't enough, now he gets to fly. But the most famous story about Li Tieguai is how he came to inhabit his iconic crippled body. Li had learned to separate his soul from his body to explore the world in spirit form. There was to be a gathering of immortals on Mount Hua in Shanxi province, and Li was invited. Before his spirit left his body, he went to his servant. He said, "I will be leaving my body for 7 days. Protect my body and make sure nothing happens to it while I am gone. If by sunset on the 7th day I have not returned, you may burn my body, gather your belongings, and go back home." Right? And with that, he laid down, closed his eyes, and his spirit left for Mount Hua, leaving his body motionless at home. 6 days had passed, and Li had not yet returned. On the morning of the 7th day, so the last day, his servant received a message from his brother. Their mother was severely ill and would die soon. Li's servant didn't know what to do. So basically, he thought to himself, okay, I must hurry home to see my mother before she dies. That's it. I have to see my mom. It's already the 7th day, right? But then he thought, Master told me to watch over his body until sunset on the 7th day. He thought about this for a long time, and then he decided, today is the 7th day already, and sunset is quickly approaching. I don't think he's coming back. I probably won't make a big difference if I just burn his body now, right? I'm sure he's not coming back, right? So with that thought, he placed Li's body on a large pile of wood and set it on fire. And after making sure the body totally burned to ashes, there was nothing left, he packed his bag and went home to see his mother. That evening, just before sunset, Li returned. Couldn't find his body anywhere, but he saw a large pile of ashes in the backyard. He sighed and thought to himself, "It is the will of heaven." At that point, Li had many powers and had still not completed his cultivation, and so he was not actually an immortal yet. his spirit flew around town like a ghost looking for a human shell, right? He accepted that his body had been burned, but at the same time, he's like, this is too much, right? He then saw a beggar on the street who had just died of starvation. The fresh corpse was crippled and ugly. Now, this was a tough call for Li, right? Because, as we remember, he had been very attached to his human body, right? He was a tall, beautiful man, and he had meditated, and he just kind of glowed. And now, he thought, how can I take on such a grotesque shell? I mean, look at this guy. He looks horrible. Must have a limp, like the whole thing. But if his spirit did not enter a body soon, he really would become a ghost, right? And then he would be pulled away to the afterlife. Get his memory washed. He'd have to get in line for reincarnation, right? He knew all of this. And then he thought, well, if that happens, and I have to start my cultivation all over again, who knows what I'm even going to be in my next life? Will I even be a person? What if I'm a duck? I can't attain the Tao as a duck, right? And all of this effort that I've put in will be for naught. It will be gone. I will lose all of this, right? So realizing that his options were limited, he'd come so far in cultivation, he had to let go of his vanity and enter the beggar's body. He was devastated by his new form, but accepted his fate. Soon after, Laozi appeared to him, offering an iron crutch to support his crippled body and a golden headband to tie his hair back. Now, this was a turning point for Li, as he realized that his outer appearance didn't define his spiritual strength. And from that point on, he would be known as Li Tieguai. He kept his family name of Li, while Tie means iron, representing the iron crutch that he received from Laozi, and Guai means crippled. Laozi also gave him a magical gourd. It's a thing. Li Tieguai used medicine from the gourd, so it was an emptied gourd, right? You could hold medicine in it, and he actually used medicine from that to resurrect his servant's dying mother, the servant who had cremated his original body, showing immense compassion and forgiveness. Now, Li Tieguai went on to reach immortality, solidifying his position as the first of the Eight Immortals. He would perform feats like walking unharmed through fire or crossing water without sinking, symbolizing his mastery of the physical world. Now, in one tale, he shrank himself to the size of a pebble so that he could enter into his magical medicine gourd, showcasing his mystical abilities. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that inside that gourd was an entire world. It was like a little paradise. And, if you just wanted to check out of life for a little bit, go on a vacation, hey, easy. I'm going to make myself really small, jump into my gourd, have a party, and then I'll come out when I'm nice and tan and rested. Now, in Taoism, the gourd itself represents the boundary between the mortal and divine realm. Its hollow nature mirrors the Taoist ideal of emptiness and potential. So Li Tieguai's gourd wasn't just a magical artifact, it symbolized healing and protection. Filled with life-saving medicines, it made him the patron of pharmacists. He is famously depicted with a gourd that emits smoke, and this smoke symbolizes his spirit traveling beyond his mortal body, a testament to his transcendence and immortality. All right, so his gourd had three main purposes. One, the healing powers, right? It dispensed medicine to cure any ailment. It had magic medicine, pretty cool. The second is soul freedom. So it could hold his spirit or others, and then it could allow them to travel all around the world, and travel even further away, right? The spirit is then not restricted by the human body anymore. And three, it is a symbol of compassion, as Li would go around and he would heal the sick and aid the poor. Now, Li Tieguai didn't just perform miracles. He also played a pivotal role in helping others achieve immortality as well. He guided Zhongli Quan, another of the Eight Immortals, on the path to transcendence. This act of mentorship reflected his dedication to spreading Taoist wisdom. Now, in Taoism, they talk about zhenren, or true person, or a genuine person. The word zhen is often translated as truth, but it actually means something more like genuine or real. So what is a genuine person? Even though Taoism has meditation, very cool martial arts, and alchemy, fundamentally, a genuine person is someone who no longer has human emotions, desires, and attachments. Right? So just think about it. Someone who has relinquished feelings and desires, is that person still a regular person? They have transcended what it means to be human. The key, though, is what fills the absence of the relinquished emotions. Because if nothing good fills that, the person, cold and emotionless, is what we would typically call a psychopath. During the process of letting go of all human desires, the Taoist fills his or her heart with the Tao or the way. From that point of view, it's actually not that different from Buddhism, which talks about letting go of attachments and filling the heart with compassion. There's an old saying that in the heavens, the gods all agree with each other, but on earth, followers of spiritual practices often argue. Li Tieguai's story reminds us that true power lies in selflessness, resilience, and inner strength. His journey from a handsome scholar to a crippled immortal teaches us to never underestimate anyone. And even the most humble form can embody divine wisdom. The Eight Immortals teach us that anyone can achieve greatness by rejecting greed, living harmoniously, and staying true to their values. Whether it's through their wisdom, humor, or magical adventures, they remain timeless role models for all of us. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Li Tieguai's life. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Be on the lookout for more videos on the other 7 Immortals. And until next time, 再见!